I thought I'd come and talk to you about chores, because it would be a shame if I broke my tradition as resident speaker of going a single talk without massively taking the piss out of myself for 15 minutes. So yeah, Christmas is for resting. I love Christmas. As I said, Christmas brains. I generally use it to see how much food I can fit inside my body in any given time. It's quite nice. Everyone gathers together. You watch TV. Even the more picky sci-fi fans will eventually give up and watch Doctor Who. Christ. But it's generally a really nice time of year. I like it. It gives me the time to relax. I don't have a conventional Christmas, so I get to spend it with my friends, which is even better. So I get to have the most relaxing Christmas possible. I can sleep in till 2 on Boxing Day without disappointing my mum. It's absolutely brilliant. Problem is, over the course of the Christmas holidays, the idea is you play video games. But you play video games, the video games you get for Christmas, and when I was growing up, they were really exciting. It seemed interesting to me that the period in which I was most consistently in the house and not going anywhere all year would be the period of the year that I would sometimes have my greatest adventures in digital landscapes. Except this year, I kind of did it a bit differently. So normally I play games that are about having fun and going on adventures and meeting new alien life and just, doing all this incredible stuff. But this Christmas, I decided that what I wanted from my video game experience was a bunch of fucking part-time jobs. So I installed this a while ago. The first time I tried to play it, this is Euro Truck Simulator 2, by the way. I bet you can't fucking guess what it's about. It's actually incredible. Andy Kelly was talking about this at The Guardian recently, and what he says is very true, which is that a lot of the simulator games are just total shite. They're just not very good. But this is actually just an incredibly well-built game, very good simulator as well. So the first time I played this, I gave up after 10 minutes because I had one of the most stressful gaming experiences. I was more stressed by this than Dark Souls. And the reason for that is I don't know how to drive. I don't fully understand motorways. So after 10 minutes, I was on the motorway and I was due to turn off at a point, and I missed the turning. Now, I don't drive, so I didn't know that there is a metal barrier for like the next 50 miles. And there's just nowhere to turn around. It's not like GTA. There aren't just a bunch of barrels filled with water that you can knock over, do a quick 180 and pull away. There was nothing. And if I'm honest, nothing I've ever done while playing the Impossible game, or Dark Souls, or The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, has ever quite compared to trying to reverse one of these fucking things. It's a nightmare. But I would disappear on Christmas Day. I would disappear for about 45 minutes to an hour at a time. Because contrary to what must be popular belief at this moment, I'm not actually that amazing with groups of people. In small, closed environments, I can generally do about 2 hours, and then I need to take a break. So on Christmas Day, this was the perfect solution. And I would disappear, and I would come back in, and people would be watching Christmas television and be like, hey, where did you go? You've been gone for like an hour. I was like, oh, I was delivering a shipment of toys to Rotterdam, which they must have thought was a euphemism. In all honesty, given the amount of food we consumed, it probably was. The other thing I did over the course of Christmas holidays, this is the most amazing thing. All right, so we've covered the fact that I'm not very good at washing up. I was privileged enough to house someone that was awesome at washing up, and he did all the washing up after Christmas. It was amazing. Just washed almost everything. And he went home, and Jake was on Steam, and I was on Steam. My friend was on Steam, and we thought, what could we play? What would be the perfect relaxation game? We don't need to think about work. We don't need to get up tomorrow. So what would we do? We decided the best thing to do was to get a bunch of virtual mop and buckets and clean up a fucking lab. Visceral Cleanup Detail, for those that haven't played it, is generally, and I do passionately mean this, like one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Essentially, what it is, how many of you played Doom or something similar like Wolfenstein? Any game where you're just charging through enemies, you're blowing body parts off, it's just like the walls are splattered in blood and stuff. Have you ever had the extremely British thought of who the fuck cleans all of this shit up when you're done? The answer is you in this. And it's brilliant. I had like one of the weirdest moments I've ever had in video games in this game where I calmly walked into a room after playing this for quite a while. I saw that someone had written, "God is dead," in blood on the wall. So I just calmly walked up to it, got my mop out, just listening to a podcast. And it was fine. So yeah, the three of us kind of sat down. What was really interesting about it was, to memory, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, in the 90 minutes that we spent cleaning this fucking lab, restocking the Medigel dispensers, mopping the floors, putting buckets full of bloody water into furnaces to get rid of them. Slight realism issue, but we'll gloss over it. Never seems to put the furnace out, which I think I'm going to take that as a symbol of how my passion for games burns like a fire within me forever. So yeah, in that entire 90 minutes, I don't think we had a normal conversation. We literally just spent 90 minutes on headsets going, "We're going to need some more buckets. That bit on the wall's not done." Jake came up with the brilliant strategy of, "Don't worry guys, that room is done." So I've put a lamp in front of it, so we know that room is done. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm sitting in a room that looks like a fucking bomb site. I mean, ignoring the fact that it is just, you know, very straightforward to just do this while you're sitting on your ass, because this is way easier than actual cleaning up. Although after this talk, I think out of pure embarrassment, probably going to have to start doing the dishes at the very least. But yeah, so I was just kind of wondering, you know, thinking about why I do this stuff and why I found this so relaxing and so engaging, because it just seems kind of wrong, doesn't it? That you could do absolutely anything in video games. I mean, as a side point, one of the things I've never understood about video games, especially high fantasy video games, is the fact that sexism exists in fictional universes. Never completely understood the concept of building an entire incredibly detailed high fantasy universe and going, but we've got to put the patriarchy in it. And it's kind of similar with this, you know, there's so much possibility. Like, the physics in this game would work for a first-person shooter. There are actually guns in this game that you pick up and you can't use. I mean, you could use it, but it leaves an awfully nasty scorch mark on the floor, and you just can't get rid of it no matter how much you mop, and I just find that incredibly frustrating, and the OCD doesn't make it much better. So I was just, you know, kind of wondering, essentially, what I was doing with my time and why I kept repeatedly punishing myself for this ridiculous bullshit. And the truth is that it's just kind of relaxing. I find that sometimes in video games, some of the most pensive moments and some of the most powerful moments that I have are the moments where nothing is happening. If I were playing Bioshock and I'm charging through rooms full of enemies that are, you know, colossally hostile, which is fair because they had like the worst New Year's Eve party ever, you know, it can be incredibly stressful, but then you enter a corridor and you realize in that moment there's absolutely no way anything is coming in. You're completely safe and you can just breathe. And that's one of the reasons I think people play video games, is to have that safe breathing space. So to go all the way and incorporate that is wonderful. And it's also nice to see a bunch of video games that aren't about killing things. I think that's genuinely really important. It worries me that combat is, so frequently used as our form of resolution in video games. If it moves, kill it. If it argues, kill it. Or according to BioWare, if it's blue, do your damned best to have sex with it. The other thing about it is just kind of the ability to just kind of go on a bit of a journey. And I really like that. Being able to drive between 2 points with no danger whatsoever and just ambience is one of my favorite things in video games. One of the most powerful moments I ever had in a video game was I don't think I was feeling particularly great that day, and I was sort of playing GTA 4, and I just have this really distinct memory of just cruising across a bridge at night on a motorcycle, listening to 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. And it's amazing that video games can do that and have that, mainly because I can't do that in real life, because as we've covered, I can't fucking drive. But it's cool, and you can do it in GTA 5 as well. I mean, you can even take it all the way. You can actually go on a really relaxing drive that ends in a visit to your therapist, if you want to take this all the way to its logical conclusion. But it's just fantastic that there is space in these games in which you can think. I mean, obviously, Visceral Cleanup Detail is designed very specifically to be an experience by which you are calm all the time, methodical all the time. GTA 5 is not that game. GTA 5 is a game about torture and violence and childhood and fatherhood and a whole range of very interesting themes. But in the middle of all of it, you just have the option to just fuck off the grid for a bit, and I think that's really incredible. There's also my favourite vehicle in video games, and if you disagree with this, I will fight you. I love the Mako in Mass Effect. I wish I'd recorded that. I've had so many fucking arguments about this car. I mean, it says so much that there's a T-shirt on the BioWare store, I don't know if it's still there, that actually showcase the fact that you are a member of the Mako wall climbing club. But it was just incredible. And it wasn't the physics or just the hippy-dippy controls or anything and the ridiculous guns. It was landing on the moon in the Mako for the first time in complete silence and looking up and seeing the Earth. That's genuinely the most powerful thing that's ever happened to me in a video game, because I've fantasized about landing on the moon and being able to do that in real life. And the most exciting thing for me about Mass Effect and things like that are the journeys and going places and the ambience that surrounds you as you do so. Because when you're playing a video game, it's very much a dialogue between you as the person controlling the video game, the people that designed it and put it together. It's a very long conversation sometimes. And I find that sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, the most powerful moments in that conversation are where neither of us is saying anything. Andy Kelly recently wrote a piece for Vice. And he's very right. It's just kind of amazing that this stuff exists and that it's existing more and more. I mean, you can inject a bit more chaos into the simulator. I've seen people doing wheelies in tractors. I mean, I've done a lot of regrettable things with the truck. Again, I don't drive, so I got caught twice by the same speed camera. And that's a bit stressful. It's nice that stuff exists, and I think there's a bit of a cross between something meditative and something productive. You're still getting things done, you're still going somewhere, you're still doing things, and that's really important. But the cool thing about it is that it gives you time to think. I make video games all the time. I once made a video game where you're a knight in a dungeon and you have to click a button that just says grind. And there's a sign on the other side of the screen that says how many levels you need to be. You're at 1 level each time you click to kill the boss. It starts at 10. It's 50, 250, 1,000, 250,000, 1,000,000. The final boss is actually an RPG designer. Which indiegames.com basically interpreted as, he fucking hates RPGs, which was horrifying. But the amazing thing about it was I put it up as part of Fuck This Jam. 2 minutes later, a message from Rami Ismail appears of Lambir, and he says, I'm at level 1,000. My girlfriend at the time did that as well, and I actually had to stage an intervention at one point. People were messing me, but I've set my Xbox 360 controller up, and I just hit A. I got all the way to 10,000. Can I stop now? My response was, dear God, please do. I never fucking asked you to start. The one game I will leave you with is Glitch Hikers. I think it should be a requirement to play this game if you're interested in game design. It is a game literally about going on a road trip at night, and you pick up hitchhikers, and you can have point-and-click style conversations with them about philosophy and the nature of the universe and the nature of being. And it's just full of ambience and interesting scenery, and it gets pretty fucking weird, but I'd stick with it. But I think my final point to you, I guess, would just be, if you get the opportunity, boot one of these games up and just give yourself an hour just to explore what video games can be when they're not noisy and violent and stressful. And it might change your life. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am allowed to take 3 questions, which is exciting. This is the most questions I've ever been allowed to take, and I'm eating into it already. Yes?
Well, first of all, yeah, just totally agree. Amen to everything. But just out of interest, is there a reason why you didn't mention Minecraft, or it's just not a particular favourite?
No, I mean, I like it. It's very zen, and it's nice, but there's no particular reason I didn't mention it. Like, it is great. I played it. I got really heavily into it because everybody started blogging about it before it really hit the games press. Like, you get really random people. I installed it because an author kept writing about it on his blog, wrote this big thing about it, how scary it was. Because this was before Dark Souls and everyone was innocent then. But yeah, no, it's an amazing game, but it is if you play it on peaceful. I mean, it's not peaceful for the pigs because... But, like... Yeah, there's no particular reason. Like, I think it's a great game, and it's very relaxing and super constructive. And it also teaches kids really interesting lessons. Like, in all the time I've seen Minecraft documented, I've never once seen people mention the fact that kids are playing a game that doesn't have renewable resources in it deep below the ground. I think that's really fucking interesting. Probably not intentional at all. Probably if you're a literature student, you'll get this. The curtains were just fucking blue. Don't analyse it. Let it go. But yes, anyone else?
Yeah, I kind of want to know what your thoughts are on something. I had a very similar experience with a game called Pokemon Art Academy, which is this very sort of slow, methodical, like, at least at the beginning, thing of like tracing and zooming in and being very like exact about recreating these pictures of Pokemon. And I found it very like relaxing and calming until it started requiring me to do art. Because once it stopped giving me things to trace, and like my results were going down, I hated it. Like, it was this calming, relaxing experience while it wasn't actually expecting any like skill out of me. I don't know, I'm just curious what you think about that. So.
If I'm honest, I think there might be a chance that they've been nicking designs that people have been drawing into that game. Because I tried to get back into Pokemon a couple of generations ago, and I loaded it up, and I found that there's a Pokemon that literally looks like a fucking ice cream cone. Which I feel like is the definition of fucking phoning it in at this point. Because if it evolves, it becomes a double scoop ice cream cone. So yeah, I can totally get why that's stressful, because it creates a safe environment in which you can replicate things according to a pattern, then it just goes, right, go. Which is kind of the reason that it's good that Minecraft just doesn't really have a proper PC Mac tutorial. Is because you kind of get chucked in at the deep end and you have to sort of forage your way around, figure it all out yourself. Whereas if Minecraft had like a really streamlined linear tutorial and then just opened the world up and was like, right, go for it. By the way, there are things that explode that were supposed to be pigs. Don't worry about it. Have fun. That wouldn't be so fun. One more question.
Kind of pointing to other questions a bit. Actually, Euro Truck Simulator. The junction of the M1 and the M6 is completely wrong. And
now, gotta be honest, probably complaining to the wrong person. I have one person in my life that's amazing with maps, and his name is TomTom. I don't even know one. Yeah, they did shrink it, which is a shame. Like, I would love to see the day where the video, because they always do that, didn't they? There was a driving game that came out not that long ago, I think, where they were like, you drive across the whole United States. Yeah, and they're like, you can drive through the whole United States. I mean, actually, it's the size of Enfield, but don't worry about it. It's still really good. So yeah, I don't know. I can't blame them for not being super realistic. But what it is nice about for me is that you can just kind of get on the road and drive and relax, and there's nothing much expected of you. Although I've spent just thousands of euros in hitting cars and getting speeding tickets and just doing all the things you're not supposed to do because don't drive. And I played GTA growing up, so I just don't care. But yes, thank you. Thank you very much.